3, 2, 1. Again. Test complete.
I got the idea for this video from the channel Bot Brothers, so go check it out. First thing you want to go to do, edit, preferences, and then come to add-ons and type in node. You'll find Node Wrangler, make sure it's checkmarked. If you don't find it, come to get extensions and type it in here. Now, delete this cube. Come to add, mesh, cylinder. And you don't need all 32 vertices. You can reduce it to something like 12. But if you want it to be smoother for whatever reason, you can keep it. Hit tab, hit add, and then add another cylinder. Now hit S and shift Z to shrink this cylinder down. You're gonna want to come up here, click this to get rid of the faces, and just hit X and faces. So now you have this. Now the shape is important because the inner area will be the emission and then the outer area will be kind of blocking it, the light a little bit. So you're gonna hit A, you're gonna hit S, and then Z. Now it's that big, but it's still too thick, so you can hit S, Shift Z, and then I have it like that. Now, for the shape, you're gonna hit Control R, and then drag your mouse over to it, and you see that yellow line right there, that yellow circle? So you scroll your mouse wheel up twice to get through. And then just double click, and then select the bottom one by holding Alt, and then clicking these lines. And then you come up to the top one, hold Shift, select that one too, and then you can just hit S and Shift Z to scale them a little bit, just to give a little deform to the shape. You don't have to do it. That's what I'm doing. Come over here in the bottom left, you see a plus sign, drag out, come up, shader editor. And so you're gonna need two textures. Alright, this first texture is gonna be the shadow of the light beam. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is create the wave texture. That's the wrong one. So hit Shift A, search, wave texture. And of course you're gonna need a color ramp. Shift A, color ramp. Plug the factor in the color ramp. And then come to this wave texture and hit Control T. And then come down here, hit Shift A, grab a value. Plug that in there and put it, change to the rendered mode and come to here. Now drag these closer together. Okay, plug this into the principal BSDF to see what it looks like. Right now it looks a little wonky. Let's change this to the object. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is to cut out the light, or cut out the darkness. So Shift A, mix, color. And then you're going to want to map range. Put the result in there. Plug this into the value. You can decrease this if you want. And the next thing is, you're going to come over here, hit Shift A. You're going to want to mix shader. We'll plug it in the bottom one there. Take this result, plug it right there. And then you're going to want a transparent BSDF. And you plug this right there. As you can see, now you have no black, and there's just waves. Now it looks like they're still a little, like, small for now. So we can decrease this value so they're bigger and they let in more light. Now, let's go to tab again. And you see the other cylinder? Hit L on it. So drag over to it, hit L, come down here into the material, hit plus, new. Now hit assign. Come back to here. You can delete this principled and add in an emission. Now come to composting, hit use nodes, hit Shift A and type in viewer, and also type in glare. Drag it into there, and change this from streaks to bloom. Come back to your layout tab, grab that, go over here, and hit it to always. Okay. And then just increase your shader up a little, your emission a little, and you should get something like that. So come back to the wave texture, and to animate this, you're actually going to want this to move. You can see it looks like that. It interrupts the light. So you're going to want hashtag frame divided by 1. You want this moving fast. Like real fast. Now, the waves don't look quite right. So we should change them. Make them bigger. Add some distortion to them. And let's look at it. Too much distortion. Okay. There we go. That's looking much better. Now let's shade the smooth for now. If you want, you can probably like color this black. So probably increase the roughness so it reflects less light. So now you have a flickering light beam. Of course, you can adjust these values more if you want. I'm gonna change my thing to like 50 for now. My frames down here. I don't need all of them. You can also adjust where these are on the color ramp. Okay, this will be important for later. So you're gonna want another mix shader, another transparent, and another color ramp right here. So plug all these in. You're gonna want to reset this, change this to constant, and drag it just a little after the black. Now I'm gonna change this from black to gray again. Maybe that looks a little better. I just wanted to interrupt the bloom. Yeah, that looks nicer. Okay, so for the next object you're gonna want a sphere. So mesh, sphere. You can decrease this one too if you want, so it takes up less. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is working for efficiency with the textures. So you can shade it smooth, doesn't matter as much. This one you're gonna want to be just an emission. In fact, you can just go to this one and just duplicate it. You're gonna want it separate because it's its own thing. You're gonna want a mix shader and a transparent BSDF. You're gonna want a color ramp. Come over here and grab a Voronoi texture. Copy this color ramp over here, plug this into there, and this into there. Drag the white over there and change this to a constant. Drag this color into this color ramp. Change this into a constant as well. You're gonna want them looking like this for now, because this will be animated to disappear. Now, as you see, when I drag this all the way over here, it doesn't disappear. So to fix that, I'm gonna mix, shader, drag it, take this transparent, and put it right here. You're gonna want another color ramp, and put it right there. This one is just here to make it fully disappear once it hits this threshold right there. Come back to the cylinder, and come to this emission, and add in the mix shader, transparent, and color ramp as well. Alright, now comes the fun part of animating this. So, starting in frame 1, you're going to want to shrink this circle to about that size. You come up here and press Z. You're going to want this way out of the camera. It doesn't really matter how high you put it. Just make sure it comes down really fast. And then hit I. Now come over a few frames, about 3 or 4. You want it to be as minimal frames as possible. And then hit I again. And then comes to animating the textures. So for this one, you insert keyframe. So you right click, insert keyframe right there. And then just come down here to bump over one more frame and drag it and then insert keyframe. So now when you click on this, you can see it has its own little keyframes. Come to the other material, and you're currently still on the invisible. So just drag this way again. As you can see, it's gone. And then just insert the keyframe. And come back to here, drag it this way, and insert the keyframe so that it reappears. Or it appears at that. If you want to see, you can see that it blasts down and then disappears. It's actually still here, but it's just convenient to make it kind of disappear rather than dragging it really far away in one frame or something. Now this sphere. You're going to want this sphere lined up with the bottom of this for now. Doesn't matter what size, have it like that. Now drag the sphere to the bottom, hit I again. Now inspect all the frames to make sure it follows it, and it definitely does. Click on the sphere again. Now click a few frames ahead and just expand it, like as big as you can. And hit I. Now you can adjust with this. That might be too small or too fast. But now you have a basic explosion. But the thing is, the sphere doesn't disappear yet. So you come back to this. And this is where you want, so the sphere starts to appear. You insert the keyframe of this. Drag over here. And drag this way. And insert the keyframe. And then go one more frame. And use this one with a final disappearance. View what it looks like. Or, I completely messed up because I had to go back one. Make it come back. And then insert that. There we go. Okay. Starting with the first material, here's what it's supposed to look like. Of course, that's the invisible part, so I'll also drag it through the frames so you can kind of see what changes. And again, you can right-click these and just insert keyframe. Alright. Now, there are other things you can do with these explosions. I'm not going to show it in this one, but you can add things like rings and stuff, and more things. I may make other explosions, so that's why I'm not showing that in here. This is a simple light beam explosion. So like an energy blast. And that is all.